Reddehase. Did I say it right, Sharon? I did it.
Welcome to the show.
No, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. We're real excited. This is a big show for us. We've been wanting to do this with y'all for a while.
Yeah, we've been trying to knock you guys down for some time now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, things have been busy in a really, really good way.
Oh, good. We can't wait to hear about all that. I want to first kind of get who you are as far as, you know, your connections to Patriots Hall. So, Kathryn, you're a board member?
I am. I actually, it's about 6 years ago. I keep making it less years so that I feel younger. It's probably more like 7. But about 6 years ago, Shorty Barnett, who used to be our mascot for Dripping Springs, probably everyone knows him, he passed away a couple years ago, handed me a hand-drawn flyer just saying, you know, us VFW American Legion guys need a place of our own, kind of shoved around to churches and buildings that get, you know, demolished. So my dad being a Vietnam veteran and me looking at his little hat, Vietnam veteran right there, I just thought we could do this, no problem. So looking for maybe $300,000 to $500,000 for a little plot of land and a Mueller building, I thought would be just really easy. But the more I got into it, it's like how viable is this? How sustainable is it? It's, you know, they are older group, and how can they attract younger guys and keep this really going? So basically, I ran into Hank and Lissa Seal, who, if you don't know them, they're amazing. And I took my husband with me because they invited us to dinner to talk about it. We're sitting at this dinner, amazing food, obviously, and Hank leans back and he goes, "So what's the ask?" I've never heard that before, so I'm looking at my husband. What does that mean? And he had to explain, like, what do you need? I'm like, well, we need land. And he's like, oh, go get some. So he said, I'll help you as long as you can bring in the younger guys. Go do some surveys, go find out what the younger groups need to bring them in with the older group, because they all have this thing in common. We just need to put them together.
Sure.
And we did that. We did surveys up from Fort Hood, San Antonio. It's like, I want my kids there. We're health fanatics. We want to do this. We want to learn how to transition and learn from other successful veterans, you know. So we just made this big list, and it turned in from that little thing to like a $10 million project. We built the VFW American Legion, their first building, and it's theirs forever home, 1,200 square feet, amazing, not like any VFW you've ever seen. And they're thriving. They're on the property, and then we just went for the big one. And we've also got a third building that is a wellness center, which is VA claims assistance and also mental health. So we have therapists in there, which is like busy. We're adding more days right now.
I want to talk to you more about that as we go along. The mental health thing is really interesting to me. And then Sharon, are you newly executive director?
Well, 7 months in.
Yeah.
Seven. Well, I'd say that's pretty new.
Yeah, it's still pretty new. So I am child dependent of Air Force. 25 years. My dad was in the service.
Okay.
We moved 8 times before I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, I was on that same boat. My dad, 30-year Navy veteran. Yeah, I know.
Although
exactly
they kept trying to move away from Steve.
Yeah,
they didn't want Steve coming.
But it was, you know, I got to experience the good and bad parts of that. We settled in San Antonio, and, you know, just experienced the hard part of transition firsthand. It was very difficult for my parents, my dad to find a job. It was a very hard time in the economy. My mom hadn't been able to have a career because we moved so much. So it was a difficult couple of years, and, you know, always having to meet new friends as a child. So, you know, here I am, I have this experience in my life, and, you know, 20 years later, after doing all of my, you know, my career in the business world and starting up things in both the for-profit and nonprofit world, I hear about this incredible opportunity, and it's just so, it was like magical, and got to come out to, actually it was a dinner.
I think it was Veterans Day dinner.
It was a holiday dinner.
Oh, it was the Christmas dinner.
But it was lovely. It was this beautiful Christmas dinner. And I think that was part of my interview, maybe?
I strategically.
You didn't know it at the
that
time.
might have been all like kind of a scheme.
Oh,
But it worked.
Completely.
It worked, and I got to go in and experience the hall and what it was all about. And it was just beautiful. I thought, gosh, this is my journey. Just just led me here. So
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be here and so happy to bring all of my experience to the table. And
Tell us about that experience. What that you mentioned that you startups and things. What did you do before this?
I think I've done everything. So I did the, a lot of people here in Austin did the Dell thing. So I worked there for many years and more like on corporate strategy, and then got into working for smaller organizations and worked for a family office of two very, very well-known philanthropists here in Austin, Tom and Lynn Meredith, and got to be part of helping build the Long Center and do some really amazing things and learn a lot from them about what philanthropy is and what giving is, and got a chance to start up a software company with a good friend of mine that had a social part of it, and we were doing a lot of work in the education space and providing a lot of amazing technology for teachers to help students that were falling off track. So that's kind of where my social button got turned on, and even though I worked in the investment side doing venture capital and startups and building businesses, there was always that heartstring thing for me.
Yeah.
And so the last couple of years I helped start up a nonprofit in the natural products industry, so still heartstrings for wellness. And also got to work more on natural products, even it was investments, but did that work and just always helping start businesses. It's just became part of my DNA, and I really just love coming in and taking all these ideas and putting structure around it and getting teams built and building out programs and things like this. So that's it. This is just like the dream come true.
What brought you here to Dripping Springs? Like, how did you settle in this area?
Good question. I'm a Lakeway resident, so I'm just over on the other side.
Okay, well, Hill
friendly
Country.
competition.
Yeah, Hill Country.
Friendly
We'll
competition.
allow you.
I am a Hill Country neighbor.
Do you have a passport book that I can stamp for you or something?
Yes, I do have it with me.
Okay,
I'm
good.
hoping to stamp it today.
Well, I will. I'll let.
But Kathryn, you live in Dripping.
I've been here 16 years, and it's funny, someone just asked me the other day, it's like, when do you know that you're like a Dripping Spring? Because I came from California.
16 years.
Yeah. She came from California.
And I came right when it was like the Exodus people, right? And before I even got to 30 days, the policeman pulled me over. I hadn't done anything wrong. And he comes up and he goes, so you're from California? Because I see your plates. He goes, you're going to want to get those changed. I was like, okay, all right. So
did he say, have a good day, man?
Yeah, he did. And he asked me what church I'm going to go to. And I'm like, I just moved here. I don't know.
You and I actually used to live, when you first moved here to Dripping, we lived in the same neighborhood.
Yes.
And our kids, my oldest son and your oldest daughter, they're the same age.
And my oldest son.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We all went to,
Yeah.
you went to Dripping.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy to think, how did you guys end up here in Dripping Springs, and
From
why?
California.
And why
We-
Dripping?
Well, my husband's an actor, and he did Friday Night Lights. He was playing coach. And after 3 years of him driving back and forth all the time, we were in basically Hollywood raising two little girls, and it was like not a good fit for us.
No.
Just getting a little weird. I love everybody. But anyway, moving
I'm
on.
with you,
I'm with Texas completely. And we back then you had hiatus, so you had a few months off, and then you'd come back for a good stint. And so I went with him on the drive. He wanted his car. For 3 days we drove, and I'm like, are you happy in Hollywood? He was like, no. I'm like, me either. And then we're just looking out the window. It was like, so maybe we should move.
Yeah.
And we were just going through Dripping Springs to get to Austin because we were going to stay at a hotel. And I'm like, this looks cool. He was like, and we looked up the schools and everything. And then next thing you know, we bought land and built our dream home.
Wow.
And luckily that the show got picked up the next year because we're like, you got to stay here. So they've been raised here, and I can't say enough about Texas, because when I first moved here, I was like, okay, let's do some good for the neighborhoods and this and that. So the first thing I did is like, let's raise money or Crocs for the Haiti earthquake.
Yeah.
So everybody brought those to school, and then I did another thing for Africa, and then the principal brought me in because there's need right here.
Mm-hmm.
And me coming from Hollywood, I didn't understand that it could be so close, and that was so eye-opening to us that we just jumped on the bandwagon. I mean, the tiger totes and this and that, and then I was like, people take care of each other here.
They really do.
Do you think that has allowed you guys, and you talked about in your bio that you and Kyle are about to celebrate 30 years of marriage.
Yes, next month.
Do you think that's allowed you guys to more or less fly under the radar with all of the Hollywood-esque seen and just kind of build a grounded family?
I think so. Also, Kyle is just very anti all that stuff. He's very uncomfortable with it. So coming here was kind of like, hey, I can just fly in 2 hours. I'm in LA if I needed to do a meeting, and then fly back again. It's still the same day. So that was another reason, Texas was so perfect. I think so. It was a little odd at first because Friday Night Lights was still playing, so it was a lot of people kind of going up to him, calling him coach and stuff.
Oh, really?
But
that's cool, though.
But you don't have paparazzi showing up at your gate.
We've had a couple weird things, but I won't get into them. But there have been a couple weird things, definitely, but not for a long time.
Not locals?
No, like this car of older women, not that I'm an older woman, drove from like Idaho or something, and they kept stalking our front drive. Like our neighbor kept saying.
They were just hoping to have a sighting.
And I didn't know it. And then we went to like.
She's like, he's in the Airstream.
Yeah, I know. So we drove to the grocery store, and they're behind us, and I'm not aware of any of this. Kyle's like, that car's been following me for days. I'm like, no, you're paranoid. And they pull up, and he gets up, and he walks in. What is it you want? And they go, we just. And I didn't even know. And so they left a bottle of champagne in our mailbox and left. I mean, Kyle.
But that's what people do in LA, though. They go around on those
tours.
Those tours. Yeah, they so and so lives here and so and so lives there.
They're not allowed to get out.
Yeah, well, that's true. They're not
they didn't know,
allowed
like
to
in
stop
Dripping
you,
Springs, it was going to take them 15 minutes to get to the next house. You're like, this tour sucks. It's hot.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
What kind of champagne was it?
I don't even remember. And he gave it away because he was just like, no, we're not drinking it.
Well, so you do have a background then. I was going to ask you, you have a background in helping raise money or in volunteer work with this kind of thing. So the Patriots Hall was not your first experience.
That's absolutely not true.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I make this up as I go along.
I know. I mean, to asking people to bring a pair of Crocs for the kids, and Haiti is not raising $10 million. So I have no business background, none at all. And that was all new to me. It was a shocker. I had no idea how to do it. Had great people around me, and Hank and Lissa Seal giving us kind of wings.
Yeah.
We just got really lucky. There are some amazing entrepreneurs like John Paul DeJoria, the Roku family. These people just stepped in just by coming to the property and going, I get this. I get this vibe. That's like the best way for people to really understand what we're doing.
So the Seals helped you buy the property.
Correct.
And then you went out and raised money to build all the structure.
And they continued. I mean, they've even served food there. That couple has continued to serve and support all the way through. But that's it. And a lot of people in-kind donations to help us get up. We just finished this incredible playground for kids. It's almost like a mini obstacle course to have it.
I saw that today.
And it's Blue Horse that donated like 70% of it because we need something for a community project, and this fits the bill.
Did you get any resistance for Patriots Hall? Like, was there anybody who were like, this probably isn't a good idea? And you guys are right off of 290, and I know y'all are fighting with TxDOT, and there's going to take some land, and it kind of goes down a different rabbit hole. But was everybody kind of on board about this?
I can't think of anyone who wasn't. I mean, when we were just trying to raise for the VFW American Legion, there was pushback going, is this going to be around in 10 years, this building? What are we doing? Oh. But I can't think of anyone. It's funny with the TxDOT, though, because that's even Hank Seal. He goes, you're not going to win this one. I'm like, because we have 10 acres, and they wanted to take 4. Because when you fly over, it's just open space for the acres, and that's where, all the hiking is, and the campfires, and that's where the serenity is. And they didn't see that from that, so we're going to take 4, And so we went to some of those meetings downtown and got crazy with the Post-its, like everyone write down something and slap it right on that picture, and it was just stack after stack, like don't mess with with the veterans, and this is really important. And next thing I know, they said we'll take 60 feet. And I was like,
that's good.
Yeah. So
I think the lesson there is if TxDOT is going to do it, they're going to do it, but that they do listen to community input.
Absolutely.
And I think they've made some big changes already in that initial plan.
Yeah, it was because it was such a shocker to everyone. I think.
Yeah.
That did. I mean that could have kind of ruined so much of our vibe.
I think it completely would have. Yeah,
completely.
So what kind of programs are going on there now? If somebody that's a veteran wants to get involved and go to Patriots Hall, what kind of things are going on there?
I'm gonna bring it to you,
Oh,
Sharon.
yeah.
You're there all the time.
What don't we have?
I know, exactly.
So our programming, like Kathryn was saying, when we were dreaming of what Patriots Hall could be, it's all about asking, what do veterans want? And so everything we do is grounded in listening to the veterans and what the needs are in the community. And our community is, between Travis County and Hays County, there's over 70,000 veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I have quoted this many times, but I hear that Dripping Springs has the largest concentration of retired special forces in this area
That
as
would
well.
not surprise me.
I like that, and I would use that. And here's one more. From San Antonio to Fort Hood is the heaviest corridor of veterans anywhere in America.
I have heard
wow.
that.
Dripping
yeah.
is like right there in the middle. So
Yeah, perfect.
yeah.
And I think Texas is surpassing California as
Mm-hmm.
the largest state in terms of the number of
The
veterans.
number of veterans.
So Patriots Hall, to kind of go back with what you guys offer there at the site,
Yeah.
who is it open to?
It is open to everyone. Our mission is for all of the things that we offer, and I can talk a little bit more about that,
Yeah.
is that any veteran and their immediate family and active military and their immediate family can come and participate in anything we have at no cost. So we want the community to be there because part of this is all about the community being able to support veterans however they can, but we don't want there to be any fee or any charge associated with for
That's
the
really
veterans.
cool.
So that is our mission. That's why we fundraise. That's why we're in the middle of we can talk about the match in a
Yes.
little bit,
Uh-huh.
but that's what it's all about, is to get
Mhm.
the funding to be able to provide that service.
Okay.
So what do we offer for veterans?
Yeah.
We kind of think of ourselves as having three kind of main pillars of things we do. One is all about connections and social belonging. So that is, we have so many different events and social activities. We have a First Friday coming up the first Friday of every month. We always open up the hall and have all kinds of different social activities. Last month it was bingo.
And this is
coming
for
Friday,
this is for everybody.
everybody can come. And this Friday will be trivia night. So come on out.
All right.
Challenge y'all. We have all kinds of events coming up in the fall. We have Veterans Day celebration coming up.
Mhm.
We have the 250th Marine birthday coming up as well. And we have small social groups that get together. We have a women's group that meets once a month. We have a military parents group, a military spouses group, and those are really lovely opportunities for those folks to get together and share experiences and bond together
Yeah.
and find their people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesdays, which
Yeah,
you
Taco
got to
Tuesdays,
experience
yes.
today. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for your support.
Thank you.
We
Thank you
love
very
this.
much. My support was walking around and looking at the tacos, and I didn't have to make them, and I didn't have to serve them.
So you were just the personality hire.
I was the
That's it.
personality.
Personality,
That's
and
the
they-
story of my life.
Yeah.
They loved it. They
Yeah.
loved it. Everyone was so excited. They were like, "Ooh, celebrities!"
Ooh,
here."
girls.
Yeah.
Actually, we heard somebody say, "Ooh, girls."
We love that, but that's social connection
Yeah.
is so important because, as I mentioned before, personal experience, you lose that.
Mhm.
You lose that family every time you go on base. Every time we move, there's always people there
I
to
agree.
welcome us.
I agree.
And not to have that, and
Yeah.
be cut off from that, that's just so hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I've
And it
discovered
seems
that
it.
as well with my son. He was in for 8 years, and now he's in med school, and he told me even last night, he goes, "I'm having a hard time finding my people."
My people, my tribe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so he still connects with, the Coast Guard Air Station and stuff like that, and his friends will come visit. But I think it is
Absolutely.
important to,
It is.
to be able to have that connection, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And we hear it all the time. People say, I feel comfortable here. I feel welcomed here.
Yeah.
And we've even had people say, I feel like this is like a home for me.
Yeah.
And there's no hierarchy. You drop. I think it was Brent,
Oh,
one of our veterans, who said,
yeah.
you leave that at the door, because
There-
that's tricky too. Sometimes, I think we had someone on our board that was high up, and the rest of the board members kept saying, "Sir." I'm like, guys, this is like a board meeting. You
Yeah.
you have to be able to see everyone equally, and some just can't. It takes a while. That's part of the transition, actually, that we're offering for classes to help you transition and let some
Out of
that
the
go,
rank.
but take some of the really great stuff you have, because
Yeah.
they can make incredible corporate people, any kind of entrepreneurs. but there is an adjustment to be made, so you realize that you're really talking with people that might be a little bit slower getting things done, because we're on a different, it's not, a lot of things kind of have to
I think
tweak
that's
a little.
from their point of view, though, that's a sign of respect. So
Yes.
really what you need to be teaching them is another way to show a sign of respect without saying yes, sir,
Yes, sir,
or
no, sir.
yes, ma'am, or whatever.
Yeah.
In my research, I found out, and I was actually disturbed by this, since 2001, 120,000 vets have been lost to suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And the American Warrior Partnership estimates as many as 24 a day in the U.S. are committing suicide. And you mentioned earlier, Kathryn, that you have mental health support. So
Yeah.
what does that look like at Patriots Hall?
Exec, I'll let you go with
Yeah,
that.
so that's our second pillar is all about what we call it wellness, because it's really, it's offering many different ways for you to meet. We'll meet you where you are.
Sure.
Whether that's traditional therapy, which we partner with Austin Vet Center and Samaritan Center, they have folks coming onto our property at our wellness center to deliver these services to veterans and their families as well. And we have skill building. A lot of people want to learn a new skill. It's therapeutic.
Sure.
It helps you feel better about yourself. You bond with other people. We
Mhm.
have gardening. We have art classes that are actually brought to us by Dripping Springs Art League.
Oh,
We
that's
have
great.
a couple amazing veterans
Mhm.
that actually are teaching art.
We are
Okay.
big supporters of them.
Yeah,
we love
we are.
them.
We love them. Huge shout out.
Yeah.
It's just some amazing things they've done for us. We have guitar lessons. So that skill building is a big part of the journey for folks.
Yeah.
And then we have all kinds of just exercise and health and wellness. So you mentioned we have a Navy SEALs obstacle course.
Yes, we
on
do.
site.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
Um,
I want to go check that
But
out.
you know what?
It
It's
is
a
pretty amazing.
It's a great way for to do some competitions too. You get the Marines against the Army, or you can, my idea would be great to get like the high school football team against.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Are
that
you
could be really
making
cool.
a challenge?
I think there is a challenge.
Oh.
Okay, Coach Z, did you hear that?
I think that would be really awesome. But also the gardening was always just a component that has just grown to this amazing. Well, it's beautiful anyway, and it's actually Christian brings up the Marine. He and his wife, she served too actually. They're both veterans. They put this together, and it's just the most. I can't. You gotta come.
Well, when I walked in today, there was a bench, and there was okra, tomatoes, and I think there was some squash and some jalapenos. They were all laid out on this bench, and then a little thing of eggs. Just a little thing of
Yes,
eggs that
yes.
were there. So
A shout out to Katie Pitts for the eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sweet neighbor who brings them by.
I would think a lot of the suicide comes from feeling disconnected, and the programs that you're talking about is just getting somebody, they'll meet somebody else, they'll have a connection, they get out of the house, they're not sitting there watching TV all day just, feeling bad, and so I think that's great, it's wonderful. Have you had people that have said, veterans that have said, nah, I don't really belong there, that's not really my thing, they're just going to sit around and tell war stories?
When we did the VFW American Legion, we call it the meeting house, there was a little confusion at the time because we were so excited about that. We hadn't started the other building that some people thought that was going to be a VFW
okay.
American Legion. But what's beautiful about that is they would come and I'd say, but go look at their VFW American Legion while we're building this. And there's a freshness to it. Like a lot of those guys come for Taco Tuesdays, and you'll see them talking with younger people, which is always the thing to me is. You could be really old, really young, but you guys have this in common, and you leave them alone. I find myself getting pushed out of the conversation because they're talking about this and that and this and that. It's just an instant connection because they share that. The suicide, we've had a few of those here in Dripping Springs actually. I just want to shout out to 12 Fox and
we
Joe
love
Hogg.
Joe.
Joe
Is
is awesome.
Joe Hogan and Stacy. They are some of our absolute favorite people. Actually, Joe's been on the show I think 3 times.
Yeah. He comes from the heart, and he's actually been. I've kind of looked at him as a mentor in some ways also because he
with
is
his fireside chats.
His fireside chats. I went to the first one. I said, "Can I just be a fly on the wall?" And it was 28 degrees on the first night of that one. 28 degrees, ice all over the road. Stacy had said to him, "No one's going to show up. Look at this weather." 30 people showed up.
Oh, you're kidding.
And he's like, tell me veterans aren't going to show up, and it's things we wouldn't know, but they know about each other. So it's another thing we have is we're kind of putting together we'll call it like a veteran council or something, but they're always the people we check in with before we put something out there, because we could be totally off base. We are not veterans, and they can come up and just go, that's just not going to fly, or have you ever thought of this? And it means a lot. They're truly like our secret weapon in a way to be successful in this. They have to know that we have their blessing on what we're doing.
Are there success stories that you want to share with people that have shown up and you've seen a transformation? Or
it's, we're still young. We're only 9 months in, I think. But I'd say, I don't want to name names. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But we have seen a few people that kind of popped in, maybe did something physically. Let's help with the garden, because people like to come and do something. They don't want to sit and go, okay, now what's going to happen? Who am I going to meet? You put those guys to work, making a trail, whatever, and all of a sudden they're at the league together, the next night, and then their families are meeting. And we've had quite a few of those situations, and they'll just come and hang out. Yeah. They'll hang out and go, what can I do today? Oh, there's some things to pick. Let's go pick that stuff.
They feel needed again.
They have, and it's part of service.
Purpose.
We were, that's what
purpose.
Purpose.
I love that. And I think that's what we're trying to help people with.
Oh, absolutely.
However we can, and your purpose might just be making connections. We have a beautiful story, and you probably know this person. But we had one of our volunteers who's a military spouse, and we had a volunteer appreciation event, and
I know who you're talking about.
One of our newer members, or anyone who served, she had come in and she was starting to volunteer because she had just moved here and trying to get to know some people in the community, and she had come out of the Air Force and starting to look at what her next chapter looked like. These two folks met, and she is now part of your group.
Yes.
So it was this magical connection that happened, just serendipity. And it was just such a beautiful story, because if you talk to this woman who made this connection and is now working with you all, it was a game changer for her. It really changed her life, and she says that she is a lifelong member and supporter of Patriots Hall because it was such an important connection for her, and is now part of this is her community. These are her people now.
What do you say to critics out there, especially with this political climate right here, where it's not sexy to be proud to be an American, and people out there say, gosh, veterans, they just make it their entire personality. That's all that it is about. Like, what my response pretty much is, so I'm sorry, their courage makes you uncomfortable. I mean, that's kind of what I would say. But I mean, have you ever had that kind of pushback? And
gosh, maybe in a different state we might have that. I don't think in Texas. But you know what I've learned coming from California, now being in Texas, is some of our biggest supporters, we think differently, and it never is touched upon. There's something much bigger than politics, and it's supporting those who had taken this oath, and it just never comes up. So I'd say in there isn't. And also I've done so much reading now working with veterans where you can understand how they feel that way, so because it's so personal, some of the things that have happened that we can't even understand. So you understand, I don't even know how to say it.
You
just
even as a mom,
it.
I didn't understand, even for my son.
Wow.
I had a
you
really
struggled with that. I remember that.
I did. I had a really hard time.
He was going through basic training and then swim school
When
or
he went
rescue
through A
school,
school,
and she was like, "How come he's not calling me every day?" It's like, well, there's a lot going on in his life.
busy.
Yeah, she struggled with that.
Yeah.
And then when he lost a friend of his, a rescue swimmer, this was last year when he lost that person. He was struggling really hard, and the person or the people that got him through that were his other rescue swimmer brothers.
For sure.
And even my oldest son was having a hard time with it. When we saw him struggling, and it's like, I don't understand why he's not coming to me. And all of us as a family had to understand, they've been through something together, battle buddies, for instance, that we would never understand.
Right.
We would never understand. So that's kind of where I feel. I had heard people say that, oh my gosh, it's kind of obnoxious how, every veteran this, veteran that, and it's like,
we got to support the people that have fought for our country, and for us to be able to sit here and do this and talk about things that are important to us. I think it's one of the most important things we can do.
Yeah.
I want to ask, you mentioned, I think it was you, Kathryn, 9 months in, Patriots Hall, we went to the grand opening. There was like 500 people there.
Oh, there's so many people there, yeah.
Yeah. How has it gone the first 9 months? Is any unforeseen challenges?
I was able to, because before we had wonderful Sharon, I was juggling balls as like president of the board,
Yeah.
pretending to be what an executive director would be. Again, no business.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was.
I love that you recognize that though now. Like, you're like, what was I doing? But that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it was
It has to
really
start
interesting on
somewhere.
the construction side. When we were construction, I'm like, yeah, I got that, no problem.
Yeah.
It was like a PC wet pipe.
Yeah.
But I throughout the whole time I had people just helping me, miraculous people. But once we were able to actually find Sharon, everything started clicking, because I've always focused on the fundraising and what can we do for the veterans,
Mhm.
and then a nonprofit, like it or not, has a business side.
Yes, it does.
Because something has to support all your wonderful visions and ideas, and that is keeping the building sustainable. And Sharon was able to do both, to bring in her past, with her family, and then also this incredible brain that I usually nod off when she's telling me something, because and her eyes get bigger and bigger because she's so excited. I'm like, okay. But she is, and we've got some staff now too that just all speak the same language, and you guys are just kicking it. It's just incredible. But yes, changes. You find out some things work, some don't. You put them on the back burner. Some things you had no idea were going to be huge. I mean, what was it? The stained glass. It's like, we need more glass. It was like, who knew? It's like that. So with it in Sharon's hands and her group, we just I'd say taking off. We've got we're working down our debt. We only have a little bit more left to the
That's
bank.
awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, and you can talk about that. Where are we
Yeah,
with
I mean,
that?
I think we're getting so close to,
Being debt-free.
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 I mean, the building was a huge undertaking, and I giggle because you're like, what was I doing? I look at it and I'm like, look what she did. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
I just walked in and everything was already set
Uh-huh.
up. So I
remember
see
when-
the lens
But
and
it's
the
like,
perspective.
it was like there was two phases. There
Yes.
was the
Yes.
building
Yes.
it,
Yes.
and then it was not done, but
Right.
it's almost done.
Yeah.
And then there was the ongoing running of Patriots Hall.
And I remember
Two
when it was
completely
just an
separate
idea
things.
here in Dripping Springs, and all the chatter that was going about it. And Kathryn, when you talk about the building of Patriots Hall, what was the hardest for you? Was it the emotional side, the financial worries, just personally trying to juggle your personal life and trying to pick out, PVC pipe or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Literally, it was a lot of hats. I think I had no idea we were going to take on a $10 million project, and I kept going and looking for mentors to help me with that. That kept me up at night, and it still does. It's flashbacks. It's like, why didn't that work? But this community, I remember it was February 20th, I believe, 2020. Everything was about to lock down, and we had our first fundraiser. Yay,
Oh,
right?
geez.
And so many people came in to become founding sponsors on that night, which is $10,000. It's a lot for community
Mhm.
members, and I kept like, are you sure? Because things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're behind you. We raised so much money knowing COVID was shutting things down, and we picked the right place. It could not be anywhere but Dripping, because of the community support has just been phenomenal, incredible during that time.
This town has never ceased to amaze me.
Yes.
That way people pull together when there's a need. It
Yes.
just blows my mind. Almost
Mhm.
every day you see, I can't believe that happened. But
Yes.
it's a standout. Like
Yeah.
no place else I've ever lived has done it.
Sharon, have other communities reached out to you guys to kind of
That's a good
replicate this
question.
in
Yeah.
other areas of the country?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to go? I'm going to go.
So
Which one was the last one? We've
Indiana,
had a few. Oh, yeah.
right out of Indianapolis. There's
Yeah.
a gentleman who is very active. He spends half his time. He's from Indianapolis area, Hamilton County, which has a huge contingent.
Oh, yeah.
He spent part of his time in New Braunfels, just life-wise.
Okay.
Found us one day driving
Mhm.
by. I think you gave him the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
His name is Bill Doss, Vietnam vet, lovely human being, but he is a super connector. So he's come a couple times to Patriots Hall. I still talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
He's become such a dear friend of ours. But he's doing this. He literally is trying
The
to
first
find
time's the
property
hardest
now.
time. Once you've done it once and
Let us get the
you've
kinks
got
out.
sort of a
Yeah.
model, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to duplicate in other
Mhm.
places. I would love to see this
Yeah.
popping up all over.
Yeah. Is he calling it Patriots Hall?
I don't know if they're going to call it Patriots Hall. I think that's still in the storming and norming phase of what they're doing, but they have so many, they already know all the different veteran service organizations. They're working with the state folks, and they're starting to figure out, like, what does our programming look like. They're now looking at a place to have as their home.
Yeah.
And he's real close to having a place identified.
Oh, really?
And so we're just sharing. We're sharing as much as we can with each other.
Ideas and
Yeah.
how that brings me to, are there any grants for this type of thing available to you guys?
We've had, POSAC from Hayes County, the Parks and Open Spaces. Walt Smith saw us as being viable for that, and I was like, yeah, but it's just veterans, and then the community is on invitation for certain events and things like that. He said, no, this works, and so that was a huge grant.
That's nice.
And that kept us in line with making sure the community is involved. With we want to teach them gardening. Maybe they have the kids and like some of these events. The members themselves are veterans in their immediate families, but a lot of things are open up to the community. So that was a huge one. We're just about to start hitting the grants pretty hard. It was a little premature when we were building and everything because they want to know how many do you serve today. I'm like, I'm still pounding nails.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to that. And just going back to other Patriots halls, we're working out that to have that name, because we're the flagship in a sense, it just has to be certain things where it's all veterans, regardless of age, branch, or whatever. And with VFW and American Legion, there are certain hoops. Like VFW, it's foreign boots on the ground during wartime.
Right.
And when you're already a smaller, older group, that can be really hard to get new members. So that was in the survey too. It's like, can we come just because we took the oath and we've got our immediate family? So that makes us different. And if you're going to have the name of Patriots Hall, that has to be all veterans and their immediate family would be involved at no charge. So one other thing. Sorry, I'm going to be shabby Kathy.
Yeah.
Helen Patton, she's the granddaughter of George Patton. She has her own foundation, and she travels the world talking and teaching kids and everybody about World War II. She has a homestead in, I believe it's Pennsylvania, and she's talked about, maybe I'm going to put a little Patriots Hall out here now that I know how it works. And I was like, okay, we're there. So there are places. I think they'll start to pop up. Yeah.
I love that. I hope that they do. So 9 months in Patriots Hall, what's coming in the future? What can the community expect to see in the next year, 5 years at Patriots Hall, at our Patriots Hall?
I'll throw in a couple things. One thing that I have to circle back with, that John Paul DeJoria was on Shark Tank, and this was his idea, so I'm going to keep him to it. He's like, we're going to do a Shark Tank for veterans. We're going to invite the community. I'm going to get my guys out here, and we're going to do it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So we're still working on trying to get a pavilion outside, not huge, but shaded and this and that. That needs to be sponsored. Anyone if they're interested, and we'll do something like that outside and have a dinner. That's coming up, and gosh, I don't know.
Yeah, we have. I mean,
so much.
The sketchbook and the list is huge.
Yeah.
So
I love. Can you
it's a
share
great
just
thing.
a
We
couple
have 10
things?
acres,
Yeah.
right? So you got to come out today and see what we have. There's a lot of space left. We would love to see our gardening expand.
Okay.
We are working with Hayes County Master Gardeners and the Master Naturalist Group, which is funded partially from A&M. So we're trying to find some different partners to help us expand that programming so we can have more teaching and learning and building and expanding of the garden.
Okay.
You may see some bees.
Yeah.
Just saying. We love
That's
this. And we're working
cool.
with Hives for Heroes to kind of partner with them and come in and do that.
Hives for
Hives for
Heroes.
Heroes.
Hives for Heroes. Big
We need to
shout
reach out to
them.
somebody from
big.
them.
Yeah.
Amazing. So maybe some Patriots Hall honey, I don't know. But we were talking
That would
about
be
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so we'd love to do, we have space, we won't, I don't know if we'll necessarily have horses living on site, but equine coaching and equine therapy is a proven medium for really helping people through difficult times. So we have a couple organizations we've talked to. If we can build the right pen, they will bring in the horses and do the coaching on site. So that helps us expand some of the therapeutic offerings that we have. We'd love to, we are definitely in the spring, get ready, any competitive people out there, Patriots games.
love it.
That would
we will
be
have
cool.
teams and we will have
Teams.
competition, so that will be coming in the spring. We're very excited about that.
Yeah. You started a Patriots pack actually with the
Yes,
runners.
we did.
Murph Challenge we want to do on our prop. We've had a couple on different properties and they gave us the proceeds, but now we want to do our own. have that there. One pillar we didn't tap into, which is so important, it's just because all this stuff is fun, but employment and education.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple job fairs. It was Westbrook. No, it was
JP Morgan.
JP Morgan.
Yeah.
They brought in their people, and like one side was, entrepreneurship. You want to learn? They had all their people there. They had all their paperwork there. You could talk one-on-one with people, and the other was just going into banking, I believe. And so when you have those work fairs, and they're really popular, it pretty much fills up. It's a great way for people to not just kind of go online and say, "Hey, can I learn about this?" They know they're dealing with veterans, which is really cool. And Texas Tech, we want to do some EDU. If we can do that with them, we'd love that. And I think also there's one guy I keep begging. I'm not going to say his name because he'll get mad. Jesse. But anyway, very successful. Very successful. I'm going to get more now. Okay. Very
Here, let's
successful.
text. You want to FaceTime me right now? Let's FaceTime. I've got his phone number.
Very successful entrepreneurs who were veterans have made that transition, obviously, very successfully.
Yeah.
I want them to come back, because it's part of service too, which never leaves them, to come teach some of those workshops for our veterans.
My dad, 30 years in the Navy, retired as a Master Chief. He really struggled when he went to work for IBM, and he said, when I was a Master Chief, when I walked in the room, everybody turned around and said, "What can I do for you, Master Chief?" He starts at IBM, he's just another employee. He really struggled with that. So I imagine you're probably seeing a lot of these people, a lot of the veterans having the same kind of experience.
Yeah.
One of the ideas that I have that was always near and dear to my heart when my kids were in high school, my son DEPT, so he delayed entry programmed into the military. So I actually had to sign his enlistment paperwork when he went into the Coast Guard. But at one time, Dripping Springs was in Texas. It was the biggest school, or the largest amount of kids that were going into the academies, which was crazy. We've had West Point kids, we had Coast Guard Academy kids, and considering less than 1% or less of high school kids decide to serve their country, I would love to be able to have maybe, all of these academies or recruiters out there to where you have some sort of just information day. Because, my job with the Coast Guard Academy is where I would help field the Coast Guard Academy applicants to high school kids. So I would travel around, did a little bit of that. I would love to see that.
That's a pretty interesting idea. You have recruitment going on with veterans there to talk and tell real world experiences about being in the military. That's a really
let me tell you,
concept.
the Coast Guard has been really good to my son. He's in med school right now.
That's
all
amazing.
Because of the Coast Guard.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's amazing for mom's pocketbook too.
No kidding.
I want to circle back, Sharon. You mentioned you have a matching program going on now. I want to let you talk about that, but I also want you to talk about how can the community better support Patriots Hall, and how can people get involved?
There's so many ways to get involved. Obviously, fundraising. We're about halfway to our original goal this year for fundraising. So we're always looking for folks to come in and partner with us on being able to continue to deliver the programming. We also have a $500,000 match that was announced in May, and we are about 20% there.
Okay.
And so the challenge is to get that full amount raised.
Is that by the end of the year?
By our 1-year anniversary. And
it's extended though.
Okay.
We're trying to do it for that.
Yeah. We want to also allow people who do the end of year gifts to be able to be part of that.
Okay.
That part of that campaign. We also have so many opportunities for volunteering. So we just started a program that you're a part of today, where we have this beautiful kitchen, and it's a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
And to have folks come in, we've been bringing tacos in from around the community, and are very thankful. Thank you, Pigpen Barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah, they're awesome.
One of our we'll be there.
Veteran-owned.
We'll be there in about 30 minutes.
We'll go see them. It's awesome. Shout out. But we also we've had so many companies and organizations asking how can we be part of and how can we give back. And so coming in and cooking breakfast every Tuesday for our Taco Tuesdays. We have volunteer opportunities just to be an ambassador and show people around the hall. We have a lot of events that we're going to be planning in the fall and into the winter to go out into the community and give back to the community, and especially veterans. And so some organized events on site. We did a survey when I first started, and that was the #1 interest area. And at first I was like, wow, this is incredible. But then I looked at our membership base, and 20% of our members, 100 people, we have over 100 volunteers at Patriots Hall.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, wow, that's the highest number I've ever seen working with nonprofits. But then it wasn't surprising, because military is all about service before self.
Yeah.
And so, you know, being able to find those opportunities, that's part of people's healing too. That's part of their connection. It's part of helping them grow as people. And so that we're planning to do a lot more of that and be able to offer that. So those are ways to give. We have an in-kind list, a wish list that we have on our website. So please click that. We have a laundry list. We would love a shed. We would love a storage shed. I'm shouting that out. That's for my colleague, Rick Barnett, Shorty's son.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, that shout out's for you.
So the website is patriotshall.org, and where can people see?
We can go under the How to Help.
How to Help.
And so we have a link to our wish list there. We also, at the end of this week, we have a volunteer actually literally working on this now.
Okay.
We have a volunteer
it's coming.
helping
Okay.
us.
It's coming. Okay.
We have a volunteer helping us put an Amazon wish list together and getting that wish list onto
that'd be
Amazon.
great.
So it's a little more one click. One click.
That's perfect.
Also,
That's
do you
the
have
world we live in.
the ability to just automatically donate every
you
month?
can.
Yes, monthly donations. You know what's great about monthly donations is grant people love to see that. So we're talking $10 a month means a lot, because they'll go, this person is really. So just know that if you want to give $1 a month, it actually looks good to the.
And
great.
can you do that on the website, or do you have to do that?
No, you can do it right there. You go back up. It should say monthly, doesn't it?
There's also a donate button.
Click on the donate
Oh,
button,
there you
see
go.
if that takes you anyplace else.
Yeah, we are redoing this as we speak.
Okay.
So it doesn't have a monthly right now.
If you click the donate button, you'll go to a different page, and there'll be a monthly option.
Oh, really?
So we have that.
Okay.
They're also volunteering.
You
we are going to start
volunteer sign up.
volunteer sign-ups. We have. We are going to do a ruckathon starting in
I wanna
September.
hear about that.
So
I want to hear about that.
look for that soon. We're super excited about that. We're 2 months. You have 2 months to ruck as many miles as you can, and you can anyone here, anyone in the community, you don't even have to live in Texas, can set up a page, and you see $1 a mile, or if you want to go for a certain amount, and we will culminate that on Veterans Day. And we always have a Veterans Day celebration at Patriots Hall. But it's really to honor our veterans and to say thank you. And so we'll be starting that in mid-September. More to come. You'll hear more. But it's anyone can ruck.
Yeah.
And if you know, rucking, it's about getting out. It's about having goals. It's about supporting the veterans. And it's also a community. And so we're partnering with Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Oh, that's
I don't know if you all know, they're 3 years into this, but a lot of their parks in September, in honor of Suicide Awareness Month, they will have organized rucks going on, and so we're partnering with them. And so we'll have some meetups at Pedernales Falls, Inks Lake, McKinney Falls. So I'm personally helping do that because I'm a big hiker, and I'm just all
I
about
know
this
both
one.
of you ladies. We didn't even touch on that, but both of you ladies are very active, hiking, exercisey, sweating.
Exercisey. See, that's not Michelle's thing. Michelle, let me take over. My wife and I just got back from doing 100 miles on the Oregon Coast Trail last week.
Sounds miserable.
And with 45-ish pound packs on the beach. It was awesome. I loved it. And one of you mentioned unplugging. Like Michelle's like, I need the 5-star resort, and I'm like, no, I want to sleep in a tent. I want to be out there.
I want a pillow top bed.
Yeah. I sleep better in a tent than I do at home, I swear.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
My husband and I, a couple of years ago, decided we're going to do something together. So we did the, Santo Domingo. Camino del Santa.
That's it takes like 30.
It takes 30 days.
Camino de Santiago. Yeah, that's right.
And you start at the upper west coast of France. You do the Pyrenees really quick. That's like your first
really
day.
Quick, yeah.
Yeah, whoa. And then we traveled up on the northern part, but we only got a little more than halfway. My husband's gonna kill me, but he got shins split.
Oh, but wait, and you guys stayed at hostels? Isn't that what I?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
reading?
that was so funny. Oh yeah, I mean, people in their whitey tighty snoring, and you're like, "Hey, can you just move that guy over?" I mean, really interesting. Every once in a while, we snuck off too because there was a hotel over there.
Yeah.
What's that? And, and we would do that. But I loved that part. I thought it was really cool.
You meet some really cool people on the way. We
Yeah.
met just last week in Oregon. I met some of the coolest people.
Yes.
Bonnie from LA. She was just a really, really interesting lady. Talked to her for an hour and then off she went.
Yep. And if
yeah.
you don't want to talk to that person the next day, just get up early or late.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're stuck for like
Yeah,
30 days
yeah,
with the person you weren't
that's
thinking.
right. Yeah.
It's the same thing at the Ritz buffet line in the morning.
Oh, gosh. Oh my God. Yeah.
A nice comparison. Okay.
Sharon, you mentioned that people will hear more about things, upcoming events. Are they going to find that out on social media? How do people keep up with what's going on at Patriots Hall?
Social media, absolutely. Facebook, Instagram,
Okay.
LinkedIn. Allison Woodward's our amazing social media manager.
Sitting over there?
She's actually sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's responsible for all the great updates there. You can always come to our website. Our calendar is always up to date.
Mhm.
So that is the key way.
Okay.
It is the single source of truth of what's going on at
Okay.
Patriots Hall.
Yeah.
And then we will have a new website that
Coming
we'll be
soon.
launching in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be really exciting. But yeah, I think that's the best way to find out.
Social media,
And we
okay.
have, we have our first Friday next Friday. We've got, we are doing a VA benefits breakfast on August 29th to talk about veteran death benefits, which,
Okay.
no one wants to talk about it, but let me tell you, it's a rough time you're going through, and to be able to have
Yeah.
folks from the TVC who are coming in that can really help people navigate and figure all this stuff out. And it was actually a couple veteran wives suggested having the breakfast, and
Yeah.
it just spread like wildfire. So we're
Yeah.
doing
For
that.
sure.
We have a back to school block party. We're doing September 20th with the Austin Vet Center and the ACC Military and Family Center. So big party going on at the hall for the community that day. So a lot of things coming up. We just love to see people come
Yeah.
out and
That's
come
great.
check us out.
You mentioned the veteran benefits. When I was researching, that's consistently came up. There are so many veteran benefits that people are not aware of.
Right.
So if you're
Yes.
educating them to, hey, this little grant is there available there, or this program, I
Yeah.
think that's really wonderful for those guys.
And it's
gals.
the older guys, especially like my dad. He was a smorgasbord of Agent Orange, had
Mhm.
everything going
Oh,
on,
yeah.
didn't know about the benefits, and just worked himself crazy
Mhm.
until he was probably about 78, and then we figured it out, and it's like $3,000 a month, so it's like he can survive. Then we actually moved him to the veterans home in San Diego, where he ended up passing away, and that was like the highlight for him because it's his people again.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
veterans,
Yeah.
and they're I love to say they're just so odd because he'll call me, I made a new friend at Chow today. I'm like, what's his name? He goes, I don't know, we don't talk. I'm like, okay, I got you. But that's
It wasn't on his shirt.
It's true, but he flourished. He listened to the doctors because they're military.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that, But anyway, veteran benefits, it's just like this crazy thing. You don't understand until what we have here is this is face to face. You come into the door,
Mhm.
you sit down, you have someone's complete
Mhm.
attention,
Yeah.
and that's really unique.
Yeah.
And can I please do a shout out
Yeah.
to Hayes County?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jude, yeah.
Thanks to Hayes County, we have someone every Wednesday that's on site at our wellness center that is taking walk-ins and appointments to help navigate the benefits and help
Oh.
you figure out
Oh,
like how
that's
to unlock,
wonderful.
Love
unlock
that.
dollars and benefits.
I love that.
And starting in August, we just sealed the deal today.
Mhm.
Texas Veterans Commission will have a VA benefits specialist on Tuesdays. So 2 days a week,
Mhm.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, we will have someone on site to help folks.
That
so
is
please come
That
out.
is
Amazing.
that is
Tell everyone in the community,
fantastic,
you
yeah.
never know until you ask.
Yeah,
then,
navigating that stuff is just
Yeah.
mind blowing.
And then 2 days a week for mental health. It's grown from one day to where we need
Yeah.
another day in here. So it's just
Yeah. So Austin Vet
Yeah.
Center shout out and Samaritan
Mhm.
Center, both
Mhm.
just great partners to work with.
What an amazing story. You just had this idea. Shorty had this
Shorty.
idea, brought it to you,
Yeah.
and I think Shorty's son now is working
Yeah.
with
Is
us.
it?
Yeah. But what a great story. really a tribute to the people of this town that supported you all and helped this become a real thing. And it's been a great asset to our little town.
Dripping Springs has such a servant heart spirit, and I think that it's evident here in the support that we've all given to Patriots Hall, and we encourage all of our listeners to continue to do the same. Go right now. Go to patriotshall.org, and I'm sure if you have any questions, Sharon and or Kathryn will be there on site, or somebody usually is there.
Somebody's there.
Somebody usually is there. Or just pop by on Tuesday and get a taco.
Are there hours? So
good question. Our hours are 9 to 4, Monday through Thursday. There's always someone in the hall. We have like I mentioned before, we have an ambassador program where volunteers specifically volunteer to come and give tours at the hall. So a lot of veterans love to give back that way. And then Fridays from 9 to 12. And then always check the calendar because our offices are closed on the weekends, but we have tons of activities going on into the fall. We're going to have game watching parties, all kinds of fun stuff. But definitely check the calendar. But somebody, we're always here. So
That's
please
great.
stop by.
The calendar's right up at the top.
Yeah, a lot of evening classes because for people that work too, a lot of those fun things happen in the evening too. So,
Kathryn, I love that this idea was brought to you, and you were like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get it done, and then just.
But that's what's great about like people like the Seals or Mary Jane Hetrick, which you probably know too. Yeah. She got us together with the Doucettes who built.
Oh that's right.
I mean, everything just fell into place, and it's. I don't know how to say this. How do I say it? Especially with Hank. I'm like, Hank, this is too much money. We're not going to do this. And he's like, they raise their hand. They go, Faith. And I'm like, okay. It's like this. You almost hear this slap against the wall, and the arm going up. Faith. And I'm like, okay. And same with Mary Jane, and it has. It's like it's kind of strengthened my faith, some kind of way, coming from and because it's just there. Every single speed bump we've had was a lesson learned that made us better. And I can honestly say that. And then huge speed bumps we just didn't have. It just kind of veered off a different way, and someone came through out of the woods and fixed it. So it is blessed, I'd say, definitely. This,
it's been really great, and I can't wait to see what y'all do in the future.
Absolutely, and we're proud supporters of the Patriots Hall here at Mallet and Michelle, and through our Dripping Springs Elite Real Estate Professionals as well. And we encourage everybody listening right now to do the same. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I am so glad we finally got you on, even if it was via Sharon.
She just told me, you know what, we're doing on the 22nd. Like, oh, okay.
I've really enjoyed it. It's a wonderful story, and I'm glad that you both had the time to spend with us today. So thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Out!
Wow, good job. Wow,
we're going to get a group picture as well.
Okay.
That was really good. That was covered a lot.